There we go. You got your back. Yeah, you're fine with just a microphone. How you doing?
Thank God. Thank you. You should have all your customers thank the good Lord.
That's right. It's true. And everything going well here. How's everything going for you personally? Welcome back to Bloomington, first of all.
Everything's great. Personally, family's down here. Bloomington's beautiful. Um, it's been a little hectic with June because we haven't had kids on campus and we haven't recruited for basically a year and a half. So everybody around the country's cramming them in and recruiting and families alike. It's been hectic, and we're in Bloomington, and they're just really getting opening up and back to speed from the COVID impact. So, but things are going great.
I saw it. I've seen it with football with this a quarterback that just got out of Texas. You could tell his interest was so. Once he got to campus, it was met with the staff. It was over. It was like bam. How much of a difference have you seen as a coach from the year that you went through of not having kids on campus to getting them on campus and the impact alone that makes?
The aspect of face-to-face, it really allows coaches to learn more about potentially the impact that a player can have, and also strengths and weaknesses. When you think about our coach, Coach Woodson, it's really important for him to see body language and see a kid's personality as much as it is watching him play. And the important part is he gets to see him in person now too when they play, because we were just going off film, and it really was making it difficult for the staff and the players, the kids. So, but when you get them to campus, you get them to Bloomington. I tell you, there's just nothing better. I mean, I'm biased, yes, but it's just great people. It's just the kindness of Southern Indiana. You just feel so welcome and part of something special.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's where I grew up as well, but it's been a great transformation to watch. And I'll be honest with you, it was awesome to watch this on the football side first during this go on with Tom Allen. It's been amazing. And to see the new staff come in on the basketball side and all the excitement that the fans are getting behind, it's just Indiana is on the potential of a golden era in sports, not just basketball or football. You've got the women's program that's doing extremely well, both soccer programs, baseball, of course. This could be potentially the biggest year in Indiana athletics history.
Jim, you say it like that. I never even thought about those types that, put everything together like you just did. And wow, I mean, it really is exciting. It's an exciting time for this school and the athletic department. And Coach Morin doing what the Hoosiers have done on the women's side, and then, like you said, soccer, baseball, and now Scott Dolson did a great thing. He kept Coach Allen here for a long time, and he recognizes and he let everybody know that football has to go. It's got to be the sport. And as much as everybody wants to say it's a basketball school, football has to drive and has to do well. And we have to deliver for football as much as we expect football to deliver for Indiana. And it's got to go. And that's, I think, as exciting as things are, I think football being where they're at, we got to keep this momentum going. And we got to help all of us. We got to help Coach Allen and his staff as much as we help basketball. And, the other great thing is, like you mentioned, you got soccer, you got baseball, you got women's basketball. It's just a great time to be here.
Yeah, and I know that the success of football is uber important to any school, but for Indiana, the one thing that I will say that basketball will always drive the train. It will always be the engine, which that's okay. It's a basketball state. It's in the DNA. It's okay for that to be that case. But as long as they are that engine, now I think that everyone who was around it can see it is quickly getting back to that. the talent that is coming through, and not asking about names, but just the talent that has come through here in the last couple of weeks, unbelievable. You can tell that they are all serious. Indiana is at the in the top 5 of virtually all of their lists. That wasn't the case before, especially for kids outside of the state where there was a problem. If you're inside the state, you have a greater familiarity with IU, of course, and a greater affinity maybe. But outside, they really don't care, and they have to be sold. And for someone who went to school here, how is it to sell that product to someone who has no familiarity?
You know, Jim, the name gets us in the door. I've always felt like this, you know, good or bad, a good team or bad team. Indiana's global, and so our foot is in the door. I think where we got to make our hay is we've got an unbelievable staff, but in particular, Coach Woodson has the passion for Indiana basketball that I think has been missing for a long, long time. And he tells it like it is. And the 34 years in the NBA is exactly what young kids and families, if that's the dream to get to the NBA, then Coach Woodson has some great perspective.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes, Coach Woodson's going to have to do all these things to adjust to the college game. But in the end, he's wanting 3 things out of he wants 3 things for these young student athletes, these recruits. And it's education, it's your dream of playing in the NBA, and we're going to teach you how to make it in life and prepare you for life, for longevity. And aside from that, it's all fluff. It's all fluff. And I think people are really gravitating towards, they're really appreciating that, man, on one side of things, he doesn't understand all the rules and all these things that you can't do and but I'll tell you what, it's hard to argue that he knows the game and he's done it, you know, in his outside life, outside of basketball, and he's got it figured out. I mean, that's what he's selling. He doesn't understand all the fluff, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, he is very, very down to earth. You can tell he's just a pro from coming from the NBA, being a pro. You mentioned Scott Dolson. If Scott Dolson is not AD of the year, that would be beyond travesty, because he has already, in my mind, earned AD of the year in a 3 or 4 month span, without question. I think he has set Indiana on. I mentioned those things about all these. He has set all those things in motion at the right time. And he's treated it like a CEO, but it has worked to perfection. So absolutely agree with you on everything about Scott. We talked about the talent you guys have brought through, the talent you have here right now. A lot to be excited about. I know you got to get off here soon. So the team you've got a lot of talent in place ready for this upcoming season.
You know, and we do. And I think that this was an NCAA tournament team the year before, the first COVID year, and we didn't make the tournament last year, and we should have. And there's a lot of responsibility to spread out. And I think what we have to do as coaches and former players in particular, and this is my goal, is we got to get everybody that gave everything to this program to really dig in and be there for these current players and to protect these current players. You know, instead of someone who wants to go on, do a radio interview and talk about what we're doing wrong as a staff and as a team, why don't you go to Bloomington and sit down and talk with the staff, or let's talk with the players. And I'm talking about myself too, Jim. And when someone's talking bad about us, it's okay to defend us, because this is your squad, especially when they feel like they're out of line. And, we're out in these towns. Talk good about Indiana. Talk good about the team. Don't just let someone talk trash about our team and our program and our school. You don't have to fight them, but it's okay to defend them. And I just felt like too many people are allowed to pick at our team and pick at our program. And you can't control everybody, but these former players, managers, coaches here, they're in these towns, myself included. It's okay to defend. It's okay to correct somebody when they're wrong. And they'll pop off, but we can't just ignore it anymore, because the way the world works, especially social media and the sound waves, you get to say whatever you want with no accountability. And I'm not referring to you, Jim, but I think people in general, there's no accountability. And so, we got to fight back. We got to stand up for our program, especially when it's somebody that we know doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think a lot of the fan base sees the national media, for whatever reason, just has a different take. Maybe because Indiana's relevance has wavered up and down, but there's definitely a national bias. But then you mentioned the players. You got players from the night era, from Sampson and Crean and Miller, and now starting Woodson. So bringing those guys, because of the night era was so long, they were already together. And then you got a group that those other three coaches that weren't. So getting those guys all back together as one, I'm sure, is a big goal of yours.
For sure. And we're going to start with the reunion coming up. But you know what? I'd love to just see that we got really good momentum going with our current players, and they're really starting to understand. Coach Woodson's passion is just, you can't dispute it, and he has reason for it. I mean, the guy I was bragging about him the other day. This guy averaged 20 points a game as a freshman with no 3-point line. No, he
was a battler.
He didn't have to get back on defense, allegedly. No, I'm teasing, but this guy gave everything for this school, and now he comes back.
But that's you too. I mean, you talk about, and that's true what you're saying about it, but that's having you there as well. Now you've got two of you, and a different version, and different versions that played for Coach Knight, because they were different versions of Coach Knight. Then one last question before I got to let you go. The girls, how's the conversion going? Do they got their candy striped pants yet? People are asking. I know that's going to be a little difficult chore to get done.
It's still a battle. I think that my 8-year-old, I think I've been able to really, with some ice cream and Tic Tacs, we've been able to persuade her. But the oldest is still holding out. She wants a phones, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm gonna have it come organically, and her appreciation to be a Hoosier, it'll come. But I'm going to let her make her own decision. But I have confidence that Hoosier Nation she'll warm up to him real quick.
The reunion coming up, having a golf game, I'm sure. How's your golf game going?
It's terrible. I'd like to say I'm retired, but I'm open to playing some scrambles and stuff. But don't expect anything miraculous, and probably won't be invited back. So it's a one-time thing.
Well, buddy, I know that you got to go, but we appreciate you joining him. It's good seeing you last week, and I look forward to talking to you again before the season gets started.
Okay, Jim. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, Dane. Thank you very much.